Hi everybody, and welcome to International Women's Day at WorkNest. Today's theme is all about embracing equity. And I think it's really important actually that we stop and reflect on how far we've come as a business, but also acknowledge how far we still have to go on our journey. Last year we collated diversity data for the first time, which informed us that we have slightly more females than men across the business. We know we have really great representation at senior leadership level, with 5 out of the 10 members of the SLT being female. However, we know that that story is ever so slightly different at exec level. Last year, we launched our family leave policy on International Women's Day, which was a very small but very important step towards equity for our female colleagues going off on maternity leave. We know we've still got so much to do, but it's really important that on days like today, we stop and celebrate the amazing contribution of our female colleagues. So thank you for all that you do. And here's some of our members of WorkNest with a little bit more insight into why celebrating the females in our business is so important.
To me, it's a great time to highlight to my children the challenges women face, but also to highlight to my daughter the opportunities that she may have. I tell her you can be whoever you want, whatever you want, apart from a spaghetti monster.
It's a day to pause and reflect on our role, our contribution to society, to the workplace, in all its diversity, and we're all unique, aren't we?
For me, it's not just about the message of the year or recognising women that have come before us. I think a lot of it about International Women's Day is about sharing stories of women right now in their chosen field and what a difference and impact they're making, and giving them that chance to share their story.
The West Wing came out when I was 16 or 17, and my goodness, what a set of role models. CJ was phenomenal. In a world and political arena dominated by men and ego, she was intelligent and capable, strong and principled. She cared passionately, and she dealt with everything articulately and with a touch of deadpan humour. She could rock a ball gown and a power suit, and she's still who I want to be when I grow up.
As a young girl in the 80s, I was inspired by Madonna. She was her own true self. She was unapologetic for who she was. She did what she wanted, when she wanted, and she was outrageous. As an older teenager, looking to a career in the law, I admired Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was appointed to the US Supreme Court in 1993. Notorious RBG, as she became known after her death, was a phenomenal woman, strong, intelligent, and one of the most powerful women in America.
My first manager at university inspired me. Her name was Jane. Jane taught me the virtue of brave thinking, trusting yourself and feeling empowered. She showed me that you can be your true self at work. In fact, that you'll be more fulfilled and successful if you are your true self.
My proudest achievement was starting uni to study law after nearly dying in a serious car accident when I was 17. I spent 4.5 months in hospital, I missed 6 months of sixth form, and I sat my A-levels on time. This experience taught me that no matter what I wanted, I was always going to achieve it, regardless of the obstacles that might be put in my way.
When I was 21, I worked for Capital Finance, part of the Bank of Scotland. I worked within the retail division, offering personal loans. Capital Finance were opening a new branch in Sydney, Australia, and were advertising for senior management team to go out and set it all up. I was not a senior manager, but took a chance and inquired. I was told politely that I was not what they were looking for. So I took myself away and decided to take a different approach. I took myself to the library, I did all my research on where to live, what it would cost to live out there, run a car. And once I had all of that information and I knew that I could do it, I pulled together a presentation on why they should take a chance on me, and it worked. I went off on my adventure and I helped set up Capital Finance Australia. One of the things I'm most proud of is extending my contract for an additional 3 years. This is mainly due to the lack of faith from my family and friends who thought I would be home within the first month.
Across the SLT and the wider business, I'm in awe of the amazingly talented women that I work with every day. I think that we all empower each other by showing unlimited support and encouragement. Within my own team, I'm striving to create an environment where there are no barriers to success. I have 4 female team members who I'm really proud of. I will always champion them and support them, and I believe there are no limits to what they can achieve.
I always, or at least I always try, to fully empower and encourage women. I will speak up, and I'll make sure that they know that I appreciate the value of their opinions and their decisions, so that they are never scared to use their voice or act upon their instincts.
Build on our culture of trust, support, and not be afraid to ask questions, about the challenges women face. If we're not asking questions, we're not learning, I'm not sure how we can empower anyone.
Keep challenging the perception that the equality fight is already won. Senior female underrepresentation in the gender pay gap tells us otherwise.
I think empowerment really comes down to understanding what that means to somebody. Everybody has their own version of what empowerment means to them. So having a good ear and listening to what they are saying and what they feel, and being able to support them based on what they think they need rather than what you think they need.
Be part of the change, challenge poor behaviour, and drive for success is for me. And treat everyone equally, but we're not all equal, or are we? It's not about treating women equally. Wait, let me finish, there's more. It's about treating everyone fairly, giving everyone the same opportunities. That's all it's about.
Firstly, I'd say this. I learn from the women in our business and other businesses every day. In my experience, women generally bring stronger balance, for example, in decision making, stronger empathy, and insight to understanding emotions, and they're also invariably more composed under pressure.
I had the privilege of listening to lots of these videos and watching them as they came in over the last few days, and it really struck me that there's some very impassioned people already doing some great stuff, both to champion the rights of women, but everybody across the business. So big tick in the box there for us. It also struck me quite sadly that there was a recognition by everybody we've got such a long way to go, both as work nest and as a society. And I think days like this are quite telling. As long as we need an International Women's Day, then there's still a fight that needs to be fought. And my challenge to all of us is actually not to just play around at the edges, but to do something a little bit more meaningful. And if I take something like childcare as an issue, it's a no-brainer to offer people who've got caring responsibilities a little bit more flexibility. But actually, as long as we continue to frame this as a women's problem, then it's going to remain in that domain, and so are women. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not okay.
Equality and equity are essential concepts of fairness and justice, but they mean 2 different things. Equality means everyone is treated the exact same way, regardless of need or any other individual difference. Equity, however, recognises that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome so that everyone can thrive.
Equality or equity? Well, hopefully both, but there is a big difference. To me, equity should really be the ultimate goal, because it entails really understanding what makes us different and how to take account and value those differences for everyone's benefit. So we really need to aim for both, and that's where it becomes really transformational.
Best thing about being a woman, it's the prerogative to have a little fun.